Today is Friday, Parashat Vayigash. What an incredibly emotional and moving parasha this is. It is a climax after so many situations happen leading up to the beginning of this parasha. Things that are totally unexplainable. The brothers of Yosef are very perplexed. Uh, they came to Egypt to buy provisions. The first time their brother Shimon is put in jail. Why? Because this ruler of Egypt, the viceroy, wants them to bring Binyamin, and he takes Shimon as a guarantee. And then they come the second time, and Yosef puts the goblet in the bag of Binyamin, and then they brought back us, and they're accused of Binyamin robbing, and all these things are happening, and they're very perplexed as to what this ruler wants us to bring the younger brother, and what all these things are happening, where they have a sense that this is happening because of their misdeeds when they sold their brother as a slave, but they have no idea whatsoever that the person in the royal palace is actually their brother Yosef. And finally he says two words that are some of the most powerful words that describe a situation and that answer all the questions that they had before. And this is when Yehuda is speaking to Yosef and speaking about all the distress that his father went through when he believed that his son, meaning Yosef, was dead, that he hadn't seen him for years, that he must have been devoured by a wild animal, and all the anguish that he would have if Binyamin doesn't go back. And Yosef can no longer take these emotions that are building up inside of him, and he breaks down crying. And he says these two words, Ani Yosef. I am Yosef. And by him saying, I am Yosef, everything that was perplexing before, everything that didn't make sense before, all of a sudden everything falls into place, of course. If this is Yosef, that's why he wanted to see his brother Binyamin from the same mother, from Rachel. Of course, Shimon is the one that was put in jail because he's the one that threw Yosef in the pit. Of course, Yehuda is the one that is now pleading on behalf of Binyamin because he's the one that had the idea to sell Yosef as a slave. Everything is falling into place, and even more when Yosef says, don't be sorry. The reason why he's telling them that they sold him to Egypt as a slave is so that he would be there in that position years later to make sure that, to take good care of them, because one way or another, Yaakov had to go down to Egypt. He was a prophecy that was given to Avraham Avinu, questioned how would he go down to Egypt, and now he's going down with his son being the viceroy of Egypt. So it was all for the good. So everything fell into place when he said just, Ani Yosef, I am Yosef. Our sages say, when the Mashiach will come, there'll be an incredible amount of clarity that will answer all the questions and all the perplexing situation that we have, that we don't understand why certain things happen. When Mashiach comes, there'll be a statement that will be made in the world that will be equivalent or parallel to what Yosef did when he said, Ani Yosef, and then everything made sense. When Mashiach comes, then everything will make sense then. So that's one approach. There's another approach of the Mefarshim, of our sages, that say, when Yosef said, Ani Yosef, can you imagine the embarrassment of the brothers? Of course, they knew that they sinned by selling him as a slave. But to face the victim of what they did, now as the ruler or the second in command of all Egypt, what an embarrassment. I mean, they could not deny it. They did it. You know, they covered up with the father when they sent him the tunic dipped in blood, but here the evidence is right in front of them. Can you imagine? The embarrassment was incredible. And some of our sages say this statement that Yosef made, Ani Yosef, Aod Avichai, is my father still alive? It was a rhetorical question. Is my father still alive? Meaning, Yehuda has been talking about, how can you keep Binyamin? The father will be in such anguish. He's, in a way, rebuking them by telling them, I am Yosef. is my father's son, meaning, didn't you think about it? When you as brothers told your own brother about Yaakov, the anguish that you would cause him? And therefore, some of our sages say that this is parallel to the type of embarrassment that a person would have after 120 years in Olam Haba, when he's facing an accurate record of everything that he did during his lifetime, and his misdeeds. The incredible embarrassment, because he could not deny it. That will be irrefutable evidence. He's given a record of what he did. However, to close, Hashem gave us the incredible gift of teshuvah. So no matter what we did in this lifetime, as long as we take ourselves and do teshuvah and repent, that the makom efo sheba'alei teshuvah omdim en tzadikim gmurim yicholim la'od. In other words, a place where Baal teshuvah stand, he has more merit than even somebody who was righteous all the time. And these are some of the lessons from the parasha of this week. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen. And Shabbat Shalom.